Hi everybody. Today we're going to change the oil in the John Deere 50. Now if you're new to the channel and you haven't seen it, I put a link up here of how we got this old 50 to run again. It had been sitting in the shop for 2 years. Now that it's running, it's time to give it an oil change. So what do you need to do the oil change? It calls for 7 quarts of oil. I picked up 2 gallons of Shell Rotella 10W30. You're going to need an oil filter. You can get them from John Deere. The part number is AR26350. But when I was down getting parts for this at Napa, they have the Napa Gold filter, and that part number is 1242. The wrenches that you're going to need is 1 1/4 inch to take the drain plug out, and then a 3/4 inch wrench to check the oil. There's a valve over here that you open and close with a 3/4 inch wrench, and also to take the oil filter housing off. One other thing that's very important to have is an oil catch pan. So that's the basics. That's what you need to do this oil change. So let's get started. First thing, this cap right here, loosen up or take it off. That's where you're going to put the oil in. So I loosen it up, let the air get in to drain everything. And then down here, right here, is where you will crack that open and see if there's any oil that flows out. Instead of a dipstick, this is how you check for your oil. And it's been a few years, so I suspect we're low. So when we get ready to fill the tractor back up with oil, when it just begins to trickle out, it'll come out of here, and then that's when you will close this back up. So for now, we're just going to leave everything open and let it breathe. Underneath the tractor, this is the drain plug back here. It's 1 1/4 inch. You'll need 1 1/4 inch wrench to open that up to let the oil drain out. And then over here is the oil filter housing. That's going to require a 3/4 inch wrench. You'll crack that open, let the filter come down, replace the filter. That's the place that you do that. So first thing, we're going to open this up and get the old oil out of the crankcase. And let her drain. Take the 3/4 inch wrench and unloosen this filter housing. Forgot to mention it in the other video that I did with the 30/20 oil change, and I did it on this one too. Make sure you have a wiping rag. You're going to need it. So let's take this housing off and let that drain. Oil filter is removed, and the filter housing is also sitting there. It needs to be cleaned up. A lot of oil leaks out in this process. So at this point, just let the oil drain for a little bit and go ahead and clean up the filter housing, get the oil filter ready. While we're waiting for the oil to finish dripping into the pan, I've cleaned up the oil housing cap. The new filter is ready, and this seal, O-ring, gasket, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to call it a seal because that's what it does. I took that out, cleaned it up, and it goes right up in here. So we're going to put that gasket in place, put the oil filter up in there, and tighten down the housing, and it has some oil. Go ahead and tighten up your oil drain plug, which is that 1 1/4 inch nut back there. Requires 1 1/4 inch wrench or socket. And then also tighten up your oil filter housing. That requires a 3/4 inch wrench. Take them up good and snug. And then let's go ahead and put some oil in. At this point, put a funnel in the filler neck and add your oil. We know it's going to take at least 1 gallon of oil because it calls for 7 quarts. So we go ahead and just dump that first gallon right in. Okay, we have the first gallon in, and now it's going to take 3 more quarts. So I'm going to dump half of the second gallon in, and then from that point, we'll just check it a little bit at a time. This is probably where it would be a whole lot easier if you just had like a gallon jug and maybe 3-quart jugs, 3-quart containers. But they sell it this way, it's cheaper that way, and it's really not that doggone hard to just add a little bit and look. I've added about 1.5 gallons. Now what I'm going to do is start the motor up. The reason for that is the oil system has got to let oil go through it. In other words, the filter down there is dry. So we won't know the correct level until the oil filter has got oil in it and the system has oil completely through it. Then we will check that little check valve down there and see that the oil is dripping out. So we're going to start her up, let her run for a little bit. Also at this time, it's a good time to check for any leaks. Hopefully you have none, but it's a good time to check for leaks when you first start it up. We started it up, no leaks, good oil pressure. So now we're going to finish topping it off until that oil begins to drip out of that check valve down there. Now that you see oil dripping, let the oil stop dripping and then go ahead and tighten that up. Now that we have oil dripping out of that check valve, I don't know what the real name for that is, but it's a valve and you're checking for oil, so I'm going to call it a check valve. Take your 3/4 inch wrench, tighten it back down, then put the oil cap, where it goes on the filler neck, tighten that back down, and you're all set. I want to thank you today for watching this video. If there's anybody that has never changed the oil on a John Deere 50, this also works for a John Deere 60 and 70. Then I hope this video is helpful to you. Stick around, we got some channel shout outs to do. Thank you for watching. I think Nelson and Ron are getting tired of riding back on this transfer tank by themselves, and I want to throw a couple of shout outs to some channels who have sent me some stickers and who support me. The first one, Stanley Orchard. Stanley Orchard and I have done some fishing together. We've got some outdoor channels. Yes, I have another channel other than this one. And he was kind enough to send me 2 stickers. One's already on my boat, and this one's going on the transfer tank. My other channel name is called Haul and Ash Outdoors. We do a lot of fishing, a little bit of hunting, but that has nothing to do with Angleside Farm. The other sticker, the other shout out, the Grumpy Farmer, Andy Dennison, Dennison Farms. Now I'll tell you, that's a cool sticker. I want to thank you both for sending stickers, and also I want to say thank you to another channel that supports me. They don't have a sticker, but I'm happy to do a shout out. Young fella up in Canada called 4E Farms. So there's the channel shout outs: Stanley Orchard, Dennison Farms, the Grumpy Farmer, and 4E Farms. If you have a sticker and you'd like to send it to me, I'm more than willing to put it on the back of that transfer tank and give you a shout out. I have some that I'll be getting soon, and I'd be happy to return the favor to those that would like them. So I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank you for supporting. If you haven't already done it and you feel like doing it, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and follow along with us. And until the next time, take care and God bless.